Two developers battle against time to create a Roblox game within 24 hours. We both get as much time as we want to work on the project within that time frame, and communication is allowed. I handle the design and art, and Xade handles the programming. Without further ado, let's get to it. After a brief discussion with Xade, we decided to go with a survival game. With our game idea set, it was time to decide upon what we wanted to make, starting with the gameplay loop of the game. The gameplay loop involves creating a small island environment, basic eating and drinking, tool usage and resource gathering, enemy AI, hunger depletion and death, and if time allows, a few extra features. I began working on a basic island environment, starting with a water placement using the ocean level in the terrain settings. I decided to use terrain for the environment for very valid reasons, the main one being I'm too lazy to create assets. And also terrain is much faster. Remember guys, 24 hours. And with that being said, there we go, water is done. Now to paint some simple sand and grass, and voila, we have a crappy island.
What the f is this piece of shit?
Don't you guys worry, I'll expand upon it later, but I need to get some assets for Xade to work with first. Because if you guys ever worked in a team, you know dependencies are very important. The first assets I'm going to create is an axe and a pickaxe, as me and Xade have a plan to start with resource gathering and chopping down trees and cutting down rocks. So the priority is tools, resources and consumables, so Xade can get the basics going as soon as possible. With that being said, that is the axe completed. And now if I do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I'm lazy, so boom, that's the pickaxe done. Okay, now the tools are pretty much imported now, I added materials to them, but it's got me thinking, we do need an animation for them to actually work. But the issue is, I have no experience with animating in Studio, so After a quick tutorial, I managed to figure out how this timeline editor thing works, and I managed to get this hit effect animation, which looks relatively okay. And finally, with the tools done, I went ahead and made some assets. I made a couple of palm trees, a wood resource and a banana. Now it's time to pass it over to Xade so he can get working on it.
Hello, I'm Xade, and the first thing I did was the tools. So I made the axe by putting a custom script to undo the pickup. The custom pickup didn't work the way I wanted, so I just made my own pickup system for the tool. So here is the tool, you can press E to pick up the tool. So Reakol was finished implementing the tool animation, so I implemented it. And also did some rakers to detect items in front of you. And now you can pick up the tool and right click to use the tool. I was having too much fun here, just pressing the button.
No, I'm not sure about that one. I don't know if that checks out.
And it works pretty good. I really like the way he's shaking his head. I used the same script I used for the axe, used the same structure, and just changed the name to the pickaxe. And it works the same way. You can press E to pick up the pickaxe. You can right click to use it and play the animation, and it detects object in front, and you can see we are breaking some stones. So for the tree, when you hit the tree, we fire up a raycast in front of the player, and when the L is 0, then the tree is going to cut down. So what is a survival game without banana? I use the same system as my tools. When you walk up to the banana, you press E, and then you pick up the banana, all the banana picks you up. Who knew making a banana can be this stressful? So after fixing the issue, you can now go back to the banana, you can pick it up, and you can eat the banana.
With all that said and done, it was time for us to hit a team test. This is so we can analyze where we're at, figure out how long we've got left, and what tasks remain for us to call this gameplay loop complete. Or at least that was what the initial plan was. Here's what actually happened. Pick up banana.
Eat banana. Where is the multi-tree? Where's the big one?
I got rid of it.
What? I choose peace today. So okay. Let me put the wood.
After narrowly avoiding Xade's justified wrath for deleting one of his tree types, you can see we've made some substantial progress towards our goal. We now have tool usage, resource gathering and eating and drinking functionality. I just need to get working on that UI so he can implement it onto it. I'm making some quick UI for hunger and thirst just so I can keep Xade preoccupied while I go do the environment. I made a white bar so I can just recolor it in Studio, and also some very terrible hunger and thirst icons. And finally, I added them an engine ready for Xade to get working on them.
So it's time to work on the test and hunger system. This system was pretty easy to make. I made some local scripts to track the hunger and test and make them reduce over time, and then we sent some events to the UI to change the values. It was fun working with the UI. To finish this up, we need an enemy. To make the enemy was so much work. I've never done AI before in Roblox, and I wanted to make my own AI, so I made a copy of an humanoid, gave him the weapons, and now we have a basic AI that comes at you and attacks you when you're in range. I did a bit of improvement, and here is Xade. Xade will chase you, and he's pretty easy to kill if you hit him right in the spot. And yeah, sometimes you can hog Xade, but yeah. That is it. No, there's more actually. Xade can fall to the ground, Xade can get up and beat you, and yes, Xade is Xade.
It's time for me to have some fun, and that means getting rid of this crappy island, expanding it, and making some new assets just to fill it up more. I started off the expansion by just making the island bigger, figuring out where I want my verticality, that being the elevated areas of the level, and playing around with the island shape until I find something I was satisfied with. I have no plan in mind nor a concept to work from, so I'm just completely winging it. Okay, I've got a basic scale and shape of the island that I'm happy with, and I also forgot to record this segment, but I made some more assets just so I can populate the island when it's ready. I made a small rock just so when you break rocks open you get the tiny items to drop out. We've got a log and a couple of plants. And speaking of assets, I'm just gonna grab this, copy it over here. Listen, okay, there's no harm in me using my assets that I made ages ago. But now we have some rocks and some cliffs.
It's all fun cutting down trees and breaking rocks, but you need something for it. So now we have resources. Chopping trees gives you wood. You can pick them up and they go to your inventory. You can also use your pickaxe to break rocks to get stone. And yeah, it's looking more like a survival game.
By this point, Xade has pretty much completed all our planned mechanics, and we have the survival gameplay loop that we wanted. With that being said, the only thing that's left is for me to create this environment and add all of Xade's mechanics into it. I started off by set dressing the level using the cliffs, the rocks, and the plants, and making terrain adjustments where I thought necessary just to build the flow of the environment a bit better. It's slowly coming along pretty nicely if I do say so myself. I've started adding smaller rivers to go through the middle of the island. We've got trees in here with bananas, so now that you actually have gameplay mechanics on the island. And yes, slowly but surely adding more and more detail. I wasn't really satisfied with the amount of verticality on the island, so I decided to add these small little round areas with cliffs all around them, which the player shouldn't really be able to get up to, but I can't be bothered to put invisible walls on. So but yeah, this gives a much more stylized and overall better silhouette to the island in general, I'd say. I didn't really want to add the regular low poly bushes, so I went ahead and made a leaf texture and just made a simple bush just so that I can place around. It doesn't look great, but for a speedrun it's not bad. I started placing these bushes around in corners and gaps and things like that, just spaces I wanted to fill in with a bush. This was also handy in covering seams between the cliffs and the terrain, because I wasn't really a huge fan of it, and you can't really have, well, as far as I'm aware, you can't really do shader stuff in Studio. While I was making the island, I also noticed that the floor was generally a bit barren, so I used the paint plugin, made a couple of pebble assets and some sticks, and just painted them all across the floor. Now bear in mind, I'm not really going for optimization here. A lot of the assets are unoptimized, but that's not my goal here. Yeah, these small additions to the floor just made it look a lot better, I'd say, and more like a tropical island. I also added bones around just to have a hint that there used to be dinosaurs here or something, like environmental storytelling, you know. And with that being said, the island is pretty much done. I've added all of Xade's mechanics in. I also added things like seagulls, so if I go ahead and press run, now these are a free model from the toolbox, bear in mind, and yeah, we can see Mr. Xade over here. I gave him a bit of a makeover, but they walk around. I don't exactly know where they're going, but they're going somewhere. Yeah, we've got an army of Chads over here. I could have made a club for them, but yeah, I couldn't be bothered again. And also, you may have noticed that there's a custom texture on the ground. I made a Photoshop texture, just something basic, just so it looks a bit more stylized and doesn't use the like realistic default Roblox materials. And I pretty much plastered it over everything, including the trees, the grass, the dirt, the sand, and it looks quite good, I'd say. Oh, and the bones also. So yeah, here we are in game. I'm on Xade's little practice island. You can see my island in the distance, looking pretty good. So we can go ahead and pick up this axe, we can go ahead and pick up this pickaxe, can also pick up this water. We can drink the water and it will quench our thirst. We can eat this banana and it will fill our hunger up. And obviously if this was a real game, you'd kind of spawn in a shipwreck or something like that. Ah, there we go. We have Xade coming after me. I'm not really sure how strong these guys are, and I can't really see their health. Okay, they have way too much health. So you can go around, you can break these trees. Xade probably won't leave me alone. Can I get him through the teleporter? No, I cannot. Let me see if I can kill this guy. Oh no, he's destroying me. Yeah, we have added like random things, which we didn't really mention in the video, like hit effects on the trees when you hit them, and things like that. Like you can see it when I'm hitting Xade. There you go. Yeah, my health is practically on 0. I'm about to die from this guy. Surely he can't swim. He can. Ah, he's dumb. But yeah, we can hit these trees. The raycast is a bit off, so the detection is a bit not ideal. We pick up a crap ton of wood. Xade seems to have escaped the river, so I need to escape him. Back through the river I go. Boop. I bet he can't catch me. Ah, he's stuck. Oh no. But yeah, overall this island turned out a lot bigger than I was expecting. I invested way too much time on this. But yeah, if you guys want a part 2 or have any suggestions for this island or what to do, or actually to turn this into a real game, then yeah, let me know and I'll get Xade on board so we can actually make this into a full game. We've got the lovely god rays. We can see the seagulls in the sky. It really looks like quite a nice tropical island. Bear in mind guys, this game was made in probably more 12 to 14 hours rather than 24 hours, but the title was going to say 24 hours anyways. Oh, I just realized I'm actually about to die. I need to pick up some water. There's some bananas over here. Go ahead, smack this rock here. Should drop a bunch of stones. Very nice. I can pick all these up. It counts towards a leaderboard for now because we didn't really want to do anything inventory based. And apparently I can't pick up these stones when they're in the water. Oh, but yeah, let me know your thoughts guys. This is probably going to be my first video back, so hopefully this video does well and I can keep doing YouTube. But yeah, if you've reached this far into the video, I really appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. All my socials are in the description below, and make sure to follow my studio group called Vera Studios because me and Xade are going to be releasing a game very soon. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day and I'll see you later. Peace.